CrossFit versus Orange Theory. Which culture is right for you? I am Coach Jay.
I'm Coach Heidi.
And today we're going to do a compare and contrast of CrossFit versus Orange Theory. Let's dig in. First, what is Orange Theory and what is CrossFit?
Yep. Orange Theory is heart rate based training. You wear a monitor, you go into class, and you try to stay in what's called the orange zone to help you burn fat. You're doing high intensity interval training more or less and really marching to that orange zone.
Yeah, so there's like a heart rate monitor
Yep.
and everything. And CrossFit it's constantly varied functional movement at high intensity. Essentially the workouts are very similar between the two things, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But you're gonna do something a little bit harder with a little bit heavier weight when you're doing CrossFit. It's a little bit easier, a little more cardio based with Orange Theory.
Agreed.
Okay, so what is the promise? Like what kind of results can you expect from each one of these things? So
Yeah,
Orange Theory.
so with Orange Theory, the premise is that it's backed by science, backed by your heart rate, and you are marching to this push that is relative to you. So it's trying to use your base heart rate to push you harder into a workout, harder into intensity to get you better results.
Yeah, and CrossFit, like I said, constantly varied functional fitness, but it focuses on a lot of different domains of fitness to help make you a more well-rounded athlete. And the idea is that by being a well-rounded athlete, you will live a better life and be able to do more in your life.
Mm-hmm. Like running from tigers.
Yeah, running from tigers, that's it.
And then lifting heavy things.
Okay, so what are the workouts like? Now we actually went and tried Orange Theory, and obviously we've tried CrossFit.
We did.
So what are the workouts like?
Yeah, so I found that at Orange Theory, it's pretty scripted. It's very reliable in the sense that you'll do a portion that's either treadmill or row, some sort of interval on a cardio machine, and then you'll have a series of supersets or upper body movements. Now, I understand that these are all the same across all of the different franchises, so when you go into Orange Theory, you can expect something very consistent across each individual.
Same workout.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the first 30 minutes you're doing straight cardio, right? And you might do intervals and stuff, but it's like all cardio. And then the second 30 minutes at Orange Theory, you're doing like some kind of light weightlifting and maybe some plyometric work and stuff like that. With a CrossFit class, it's going to be a mixture, right? You're going to be warming up to something that you're going to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's like a strength portion of it, sometimes it's cardio, but because of the nature of having to get you well-rounded, the classes are each going to be different, right? But you're more likely to lift some heavy weights when you go to a CrossFit class, heavy relative to you.
Absolutely. Also things like pull-ups, gymnastic, that sort of thing, higher skilled movements, you generally won't see in Orange Theory. You will see that in a CrossFit gym.
Yeah. So generally a little bit more challenging in a CrossFit class. Generally the workouts are a lot different every day versus like more or less similar every day in Orange Theory. And one big thing that you will notice when you go to CrossFit versus Orange Theory is there's like a program with like progressions at a good CrossFit gym. So like the reason it changes so often is because you have to get better at each one of those things. Whereas Orange Theory, you can kind of dip in and out.
Yeah, that being said, Orange Theory is super approachable. The movements are very simple and kind to someone who hasn't lifted before.
Okay, so aside from the workouts, what was the sort of class experience like at Orange Theory?
Yep, so the class experience, I walked in, checked in at the front desk. They made sure that I was set up for class and paid and had a waiver and stuff. And then walked into the room, was greeted by the coach and briefed very, shortly in making sure that I was comfortable with the rower, given some very basic instruction. And then it was a mix of the coach pushing intensity and also some work on the TV.
And there's like one goal, which is to get 12 splat points.
Yes, that's exactly right. To get 12 splat points, and I got 30. So I don't know if I drank too much coffee or I was trying to beat you.
Yeah, what was really funny is like you walk in and you have the like little heart rate monitor on you, and as we walked in, you're seeing your heart rate up on the screen, which is pretty cool to be honest, right? But Heidi is at like 90 before we even start working out, and I'm at like 40, like I'm damn near dead. And so I had to work really hard to get 12 points at the end, and she had 12 in the first like 5 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. By the time the warm-up was done, the coach had checked on me. Hey, are you sure you were okay?
You were in the red zone most of the
I
time.
was in the red,
Yeah.
talking full sentences, but that was
Yeah,
that was
that
fun.
was pretty funny. But so that's kind of the class experience. But then versus a CrossFit class where really the goal changes every day, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about the splat points. Like, so I think your experience in a CrossFit class is going to vary based on the workout. But one thing that we did kind of notice between the two is when you go to a CrossFit class, at least with our gym, there's a little more sense of a community. There's a little more downtime sometimes in between the stuff, so you get to know your sort of fellow athletes a little bit. And because it's a little more challenging, people tend to push each other a little more. So the community aspect of it, I think, was a little bit different at a CrossFit gym.
Yeah, I would say also you know that your coach knows your name just because they know you as a human, as opposed to it just being on the TV screen. So a little bit different in knowing everyone next to you as opposed to just knowing that that's, tread number 20.
Yeah, but I think a lot of CrossFit gyms could learn from the sort of red carpet experience of like greeting you and things like that you find at an Orange Theory.
Mm-hmm.
So what about coaching? Like some of these movements that we do in CrossFit and Orange Theory are kind of hard. Like tell us a little bit about your coaching experience there.
Sure. So at Orange Theory, the first part on the interval, the coach was there on the treadmill to tell us when to turn up the hills or when to go faster or control our pace so that we could push through the set. And she was really adding some energy to the experience.
Yeah.
In terms of the weights, all of the movements were actually on a TV, so I would look and see the demonstration and pick up a dumbbell that I thought was an appropriate weight and then try them on the TV.
Yeah.
She came around to give a few very minor corrections or make sure that I wasn't totally lost, but not a full demonstration or explanation.
Yeah, it was actually kind of cool to see the movements on the TV, but the weights were so light that it's kind of like there wasn't a lot of instruction.
Yeah.
Right? Now, that's actually okay in some cases because your risk is pretty low because it's just not that challenging. Some of the stuff to do is really simple, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to a good CrossFit gym, it's designed for you to challenge yourself, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going to challenge yourself, you need a coach that's like on top of it and making sure that you're moving safely. So I think the coaching experience has to be different if you're going to a good CrossFit gym.
Absolutely. I think it varies by degree, not just of risk, but also the reward. When we talk about squatting hundreds of pounds, that's a very different coaching need than just doing some, tricep kickbacks or something with a small dumbbell.
Yeah, absolutely. What about nutrition? Because any fitness program needs some aspect of nutrition for you to actually get results. So what was your experience at Orange Theory?
At one of the Orange Theory gyms, they tried to take us through a body scan to actually give us some guidance on goal setting.
Yeah.
But we didn't really get much nutrition stuff. There were some products that were for sale, but not really a program that we would stick by.
Yeah. And then any good CrossFit gym is going to have some sort of nutrition program. There are sort of general recommendations about, some sort of elimination diets like paleo diet or like, there was the zone that we were doing for a while. But, a good CrossFit gym is going to have a nutrition program because it's not just about losing weight, but it's also about getting you to another level of performance. So one thing I thought was really funny when we were looking at the price sheet for Orange Theory, it says show up this many days for visual results.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really funny because there's nothing about nutrition. You're not going to get visual results if you don't do
If
nutrition.
I'm leaving Orange Theory and going and pounding a pastry and a latte every single day, I don't think I'll get the results that I'm looking for.
There was a cookie dough place next door to the
That's
Orange
true.
Theory we went to. Yeah. All right, so what about other factors? What other things are different sort of between CrossFit and Orange Theory?
Yeah, so two big ones, convenience and technology. So in terms of Orange Theory, it's super convenient to be able to pop into any gym across the country. So any Orange Theory branch should be having the same workout on a given day. So if you're a traveler or something like that, that can be a really excellent option.
Super convenient. Also the technology, like honestly, it's pretty cool to see your heart rate and like compare it against other people at the gym. And I know there's versions of this for CrossFit gyms, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah, it's very different. You see it all on a monitor. You see someone next to you. There's a different ease of comparing or maybe pushing if that's something that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
Whereas CrossFit, it's more kind of up to you to compare yourself against yourself or you note it after the workout.
You know, and I guess there's plenty of technologies around CrossFit, but it's not like all unified at a gym. Like I'm, you know, wearing the Whoop thing or whatever. Yeah, like, so there's a lot of things that you can track, but it's not all unified. Like it's not mandatory like it would be at an Orange Theory.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so who is it for? Who is CrossFit for? Who is Orange Theory for?
Sure. CrossFit is for those people that have a much bigger performance goal. So yes, it works for fat loss and other things, but looking at higher skilled movements, lifting heavy weights, dabbling in some of those fun skills that you probably wouldn't see at a more traditional gym.
Yeah, and I think Orange Theory is more targeted around people who want more cardio work, really uncomfortable with weights and don't want to spend a lot of time on weights, or if somebody is just kind of getting started and they want something to kind of get them moving. So the most important question is, which one's better?
I think they both work. It depends on what you'll show up for and what you find fun.
Yeah, I think both can work for a number of people. And in fact, we've had, you know, at our gym, we've had people that have gone on to do Orange Theory, and we've had people from Orange Theory come on and work out with us. And so I don't think there is a perfect answer. I think whatever gets you showing up is the thing that works best.
Absolutely.
So that is our comparison of CrossFit versus Orange Theory. If you learned something today, do us a favor and hit the like button. And also hit subscribe if you want to be notified when we publish our next video.
We want to know more. Which one do you like, Orange Theory or CrossFit? Comment below.